My daughter's in an intense game of Roblox in the other side of the house, so hopefully we don't hear any yelling. Okay, we're gonna start on our backs this morning. Take your feet the width of the mat and let your knees knock in. And I really like this. A lot of us struggle with lower back tightness and just kind of finding easy ways to neutralize ourselves. I'm going to dim the light a little in here. Yeah, perfect. So on your backs, your feet are the width of the mat, your knees knock in. It's kind of like a little mountain. And you feel your lower back spread on the ground. Yeah. And then connect to your breath this morning. Just a nice smooth inhalation through the nose, nice smooth exhalation. And allow yourself to just connect. So the Ujjayi breath is what we're going to be using this morning. Inhale through the nose, through the back of the throat. Exhale through the nose, through the back of the throat. Just let your legs get heavy into one another. So let your knees just drop. Good. Blink your eyes open. Take your feet so they're now completely parallel and approximately hips width distance today. Anchor your feet strong. Engage your thighs. Let your thighs rotate in, and then just draw your arms forward like a little Pilates roll up. Now, when you do this action, just be really mindful of your neck, that when you lift up, you're not jamming your neck. You're really lifting from your core, and you're just letting your breath slide through the back of your throat. You do as much or as little as everything that we offer on our mats today, because it's your practice. So keep driving the feet into the floor and continuously reach your arms forward as you hold. Good. Now keep the lift of the upper shoulder blades. Keep anchoring the arms and reaching them forward. Lift your legs on an angle that work for you. So if lower back is sensitive, they can be more straight up and down. If you want to work a little bit more into the core, they'll be on an angle. So just find something that you know you can hold for a breath or two. Keep engaging. Keep drawing that lower back down. Rebend the legs. Take the feet flat again. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath. Let it go. So just going to do a few. Pull yourself up, just kind of becoming aware of our bodies this morning. And we're not doing this quick, nice and slow. Lift the legs on an angle, any angle that works, but keep the lift of the upper shoulders. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. You should feel something. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle that works. Good. Feet come back down. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Just one more, and we're going to add in. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Keep breathing. Rebend the legs. Take the feet flush, flat. Pull yourself up higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Slide your left leg forward. Hug your right knee towards your navel. So just like this. And flex your left calf pretty strong. Contract your thigh. So it's kind of like what we do when we stand up in this position. And feel that your pelvis and your hips, everything are very neutral. So just give your leg a little squeeze, just lubricating the hip. Let the shoulders draw down the back. So not everything we do on our mats needs to be like explosive energy, where you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can hold this. Sometimes the movement is more passive. Good. Reach your arms forward, draw your forehead to your knee, float the left calf up. So now we're just kind of doing this independent legs. Keep reaching the arms forward, hold. So scoop out your lower belly. Good. Keep the left calf flexed, calf is lifted. Extend your right leg straight up. Lift a little higher. If you can join your hands in a prayer behind the back of your right thigh, give it a go. If that doesn't work for you, ditch it. Keep reaching forward, press the palms actively together, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go, and let your leg fall into your clasped hands behind the meaty part of your thighs. Even if you know you're uber flexible, just go here today, not behind the knee, that's unsafe. Behind the thigh, just let your leg fall into your hands. Let the shoulder just relax, flex your right foot strong towards the sky like you're walking on the ceiling, and give your left leg a little energy too. Keep the calf down. Take another big breath in, draw your navel to the back of the spine. Good. Let the right leg float to the floor. It should feel a little longer. Hug the left knee in. Just simple movement here. Lubricate the hip. Draw the shoulders down the back. Just start really passive. Continuously breathing. Don't get ahead of yourself. Good. Lift the forehead up. Draw the eyeballs towards the knee. Reach your arms forward. You could stay with this. If you want a little bit more, float the right calf up. So this is going to create some intensity this morning. Scoop out your belly. Remember, not lifting from your neck. You're lifting from your core. You're drawing yourself forward. Activate the sides of the triceps. Reach forward a little bit more. You got it. Float the left leg straight up and down. Keep the right foot hovering the ground. You got it. So it's like your legs are split apart. Your inner thighs are scissoring together. Reach forward a little more. Maybe the hands come to clasp. A prayer behind the thigh is going to make you work a little bit more. Always optional. Activate. Keep the breath flowing. Another big breath in. Reach a little bit more. Lower the right leg. Grab behind the thigh and let the leg just fall into your hands. Just let the leg drop into the hands. You may or may not feel a tremendous amount here. If you're really tight, you are. Some of us just feel a very subtle movement of energy down the back of the leg. Activate the sides of your arms. Let the leg fall more into your hand and flex your right foot. Let the leg fall to the floor. You got 2 inches taller. Hug the knees in, give them a big squeeze. Rock and roll a few times. Work your way to your first downward facing dog this morning. Take up a lot of space on the mat. Yeah. Take up a lot of space on the mat. It's good to just really look at I call our bodies our real estate. So look to see that your feet are approximately hips width distance. And then look at your hands. And I like my hands the width of the mat, but that's just the kind of personal preference. It could be a little closer in, but make sure that your index fingers are slightly turned out just a little bit. Yeah. And that's going to begin to feel the activation through the sides of your arms. Bend a little bit or a lot behind your knees. See if you can get your eyes to just stick to one spot. And once you find the spot that you can hold, commit to just holding for a few more breaths. Breathe your hips up off your shoulders. It's a funny way to explain it, but think about it. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. If you feel kind of racy or all over the place, just come back to the breath. Just come back to the slow inhalation, the slow exhalation. Plus, plug down through your fingers. Roll forward to plank. I know from dog to plank, sometimes you need to take a little step. So if you need to do that, set it up so your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists are all aligned nicely here. The legs are nice and strong. Option to always drop your knees down. It's a great option. You can hone in a lot of strength in this place as well. So find what works best. Activate your legs. Scissor into the center line of the body and then fix your eyes. I like the front edge of the mat. It's kind of a good drishti focal point. Draw the navel to the back of the spine. Plug down for more energy. Ride out the exhale breath as your weight moves you more forward. Stay with it. Lead with your chest a little. Almost feel like you're pulling your chest through your body. Bend your elbows in half or drop your knees or skip push-ups if you're not into them or not ready for them yet. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So if that was challenging for you, you can just drop your knees or you can just hold plank. Roll forward plank position. Try it again. Activate. Bend your elbows in half at most, chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pause in the chaturanga. Keep the neck neutral. Re-straighten your arms, plank. Listen carefully. Lean onto your right hand, Vashisthasana side plank. Early today in the practice, drop your bottom knee. The modification looks like this. If something's going on in your shoulder, your wrist, or any of the joints of your arms, you can always drop your right forearm down and take this as a forearm plank. Here's the modification, totally acceptable. If you're going a little deeper, stack the 2 feet, drive your hips up towards the sky, and then really press down through that bottom hand. Firm up the side of the tricep, lift a little higher. Connect to your breath. In the moments that we hold, especially early in the practice, just connect to your breath. Look down with your eyes, plank position. Pause in your plank. If you can hold chaturanga, lower halfway chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms, plank, pause in plank. Lean onto your left hand. You may need to bring it a smidgen forward. Yeah, stack the 2 feet or drop the bottom knee. Find what works here. Stack the 2 shoulders on top of one another. Lift the hips, drive down to get more space. Lift a little higher. Keep the breath flowing. And just be mindful of your right hip. It has a tendency to want to peel back. Lift 1 inch higher. Look down, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. This time lead with your chest for up dog or cobra, depending on you. And your back, lead with your chest. Activate your legs, press through the tops of the feet. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Nice work. Everyone looks good. Look to the top of the mat. You can just step to get there this morning. Step to get there. Long spine at the top of the mat. If the hands don't make it to the ground, you can have them on your shins. Exhale, fold over yourself. Yeah, root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms and just stand tall for a second. Just stand tall. Now you can choose to separate with your feet, practice with your feet together or a little separated. So play with it. If your back is sensitive, a little separated is kind of nice. Slide the arms straight up towards the sky. You can change it up halfway too. Exhale, fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms. I like to just step in the beginning part of the practice rather than, hopping back. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Smooth upward facing, activate your legs, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So the biggest lesson on the mat is finding and figuring out that there's nowhere to run to, right? So just kind of slowing yourself down, being present, and not thinking about what the next thing is. Look to the top of the mat, step to get there. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. So nice and consistent here. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms. You can step if you feel like you want to float. Just reminding you, you land with bent elbows, chaturanga. Pull yourself to a nice smooth up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Hi. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms and stand tall. Good. Sweep your arms straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. I like the pants, Patty. Long spine to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. So your vinyasa may just be step back to down dog and wait for all of us. That's cool. Up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So if you're already there, you get extra time, which is good. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Just one more of these. Keep it the basic. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog is smooth. So if you feel like it's going into your lower back, back out, hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, roll forward to a plank, hug your right knee in towards your navel like you did on your back, similar. The arms are straight up and down. You're plugging into the floor to create that kind of energetic lift. Then look forward with your eyes. Keep the breath flowing. Nothing lasts forever. Look where you want to go. Step your right foot forward and through. Big step right here. Come to your fingertips. Activate your back leg. Always remind you guys, anytime we come to this crescent lunge type pose, the back knee can always drop. So you could do that. If you feel like you want to go a little less intense, you drop the back knee. Activate the legs, scissor in, reach your arms back and hover. Yeah. Steer your right hip, kind of like hug it underneath you. Activate your left leg if you're choosing this option to keep it strong. Options are good. Press through your feet and then rise. Sweep your arms out and up, crescent lunge. So if you get here and it doesn't feel good, you have to make the necessary adjustments for you. Drop your back knee, maybe bend a little less into the front thigh if it's too intense. The idea is the alignment. Hip points move forward, arms energetically reach up. Look up with your eyes. And then you become a little bit more aware of wherever it is that you're holding and just tap back in. Stay with it. Notice what happens when we have to hold the poses. We want to run. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Come to your fingertips. Now your back leg is set up for warrior one. Just remind you of warrior one, your toes are almost completely forward. Steer your right hip underneath you. Same thing, reach your arms back. So you're hovering over your front thigh. Yes. Your left thigh, left rib spinning forward, right foot pressing firm, anchor and rise, warrior one. Sometimes when you get up into warrior one, there's a little more wiggle room once you come up to kind of slide your right foot forward and get a little deeper. So experiment with that. Good. Steer your whole rib cage towards the front edge of your mat and press firm through the outer blade of your back foot. I'm getting a pretty good calf stretch, which is nice. Contract the muscles around your upper thigh. You want lunch? Oh, I don't know. Talk to you in a little bit. Hands to the floor. You want to play date? Okay, we'll work it out. Step back plank. Okay, chaturanga. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, roll forward to a plank. We have to go to the party. Hug the left knee in. Hug the left knee in. After lunch, you have a party outside. Hug the knee in. Sorry, guys. So hugging the left leg in, activate your arms, press through your hands. Keep looking forward with your eyes. Land your left foot all the way forward and through. Low lunge. Pause here. Good. So just be patient. Geez, I've learned to be patient. Activate the back leg. Ride out the breath. Reach your arms back. Hover over your front thigh. Back leg strong. Or if you're opting to drop the knee, that's fine. Scissor the inner thighs in, and there's a kind of a squeezing together of your shoulder blades. More breath. Press firm through your feet and then rise, crescent lunge. Sweep your arms out and up and see if you can move that energy. Look forward with your eyes. Yes. And then hold. Lengthen the tailbone. Ignore all the distractions and just breathe. Stay with it. We're holding a little longer this morning. I want you to really feel your body in the pose rather than just blowing through the things that we do all the time. Sit a little deeper. Hands come to frame your front foot. Keep bending the left leg the way it is and just turn your back foot. Just turn it strong. Grip your hip underneath you and then reach your arms back. Hover. So hover over the front thigh and really steer the entire right side of your body forward. Yeah. Press down firm and then come up. Sweep your arms out and up, warrior one. And then when you come up, you can see, do you have any space to kind of wiggle? I know I have a little space to wiggle my left foot forward. So give that a whirl. And then the whole right side of your body steers towards the front edge of your mat. Activate and lift. So the muscles around your back right kneecap are really engaged. Outer blade of back right foot presses firm, and you breathe. Another big breath in. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step to a plank. Move through a vinyasa. It should feel good, or skip it and go to a dog. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take an exhale breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine right here. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold over yourself. Sit into a chair. Move the weight into your heels. Yeah, let's see how these chairs are. My least favorite posture. Really don't like this pose, but it probably means we need it. Yeah. Stick your butt all the way back. Yeah. Little arch in that lower back, because that's how we're all built. Press up to stand. Yeah, you press all the way up to stand and then you drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. And I much prefer setting up chair from the top. So here we go. Stretch the arms up. Sit deep into chair. It's a lot easier from that position. At least I think so. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. So however that looks today. Up dog is smooth, just reminding you legs are strong. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Slide your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. For some reason, you've got a thing for warrior one, you could always take crescent lunge. Bring it back down to the floor through a vinyasa or not. Once you get to your down dog, you step your left foot forward. Turn your back foot strong, warrior one. It's a pretty big step, yeah. Bring it back down to the floor, plank position. So not too fast, not too slow, just right for you. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine right here. Keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit deep into chair. So your weight is in your heels, your shins move back. And remind yourself that your arms are fired up. They can be a little wider if you need, or a little closer if that feels okay. Press up to stand, drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Let's keep moving and grooving. Arms reach up, sit deep chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Set up for crow here. It is optional. Plant your palms. Keep your feet together, split your knees apart. You're gonna come into a crow pose. This is optional. You can also just keep your big toes down. May chaturanga like arms like I'm demonstrating for you here. And don't get too caught up on having to fly. If you wanna fly one foot, then the other foot lifts up, your weight moves forward. Hug into the center line of the body. Yeah, scoop out your belly. Step or float through your vinyasa, or just kind of find your way back. Yeah, and if it's not for you, you don't do it. From your downward facing dog, land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. Just offering things up. Bring it back down to the floor through a vinyasa or not. Upward facing should feel good. Keep the neck long, downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot strong, warrior one. Hands come down to the floor, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, keep your neck neutral. Up dog, smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Guys, look good. Press down through your hands, really anchor. Keep your arms nice and straight. Now look forward, step or float to the top. Long spine right here, forward fold. Sit again into chair, move your weight into your heels. Press up to stand, drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Ready or not, here we come. Arms reach up, sit again into chair. Keep sitting into chair, so this time, You're gonna sit all the way down into boat Navasana. Legs can lift up or they can be bent in a 90-degree angle. Arms reach forward. Keeping things alive. Yeah, you can flex your toes and draw your navel to the front of your thighs. If you want to straighten your arms and straighten your legs out more, go for it. But keep this long spine, no round. Lift through your upper collarbone and chest. Take another big breath in. Cross the ankles, step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, drag yourself through. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Just do what you can, it's just yoga. Bring it back down to the floor when you are ready. Chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor through vinyasa. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let it go. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So when you jump to the top of the mat, do it with really strong and straight arms if you can. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. It may or may not work. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold over yourself. Sit in to get in again into that wonderful chair pose. Patty's like, enough of these. Yeah. Press to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. All right, good news. Good news is coming. This is the last one of these things, okay? Stretch the arms up. Sit deep into chair. Wishful thinking. Sit back, nice and deep. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Option for one more crow, squat, anything that you want to do here. If you prefer going into the boat Navasana, you can do that. Set up for a crow, keep your feet together, split your knees apart. You can just stay here and work on bending your arms in like chaturanga-like arms, kind of hugging in and looking forward, keeping your big toes down. If you want to float one toe, maybe the other toe up, give it a whirl. If it's not for you, don't worry about it. Yeah, step or float through your vinyasa. If you're in a squat, you just step back. Yeah, upward facing dog, nice and smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, back foot turns. Keep it moving though. Warrior one, we're building momentum. We're building heat from the inside out. Bring it back down to the floor, plank position. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, point. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Remember, steer your whole ribs forward. Back down to the floor, vinyasa. Upward facing, lead with your chest. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top of the mat with your arms as straight as you can. You can step or float your feet there. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Yeah, so just stand nice and tall. Balancing on your left leg, draw your right leg up, just like this. You can have your hand on the front of your right shin and your left hand on your hip. Remind yourself, the left quadricep has to draw back into the socket and the right hip and left hip is forward. Good, left arm can sweep up. If you'd like to move on in this little endeavor, you can reach for your big toe, get hold of it and extend your right leg forward, but this is optional. So find what works, soften the hips, draw the right shoulder back into the socket, leg straight, leg bent, you pick. Fix your eyes on something. Anchor through the left side of your body to grow the pose. And then your gaze, I recommend kind of like where the ceiling and the wall meet at the molding, if there's molding. It's a good spot to look. Don't drop your neck back. Keep the lift of your right leg. Even if the leg is bent in half, you can switch the grip. So either grab the outside of your foot or the outside of your leg and then peel your right arm back. Stand up really tall. Make sure you're not swaying into your lower back. And in this case, you could start to look back a little. If you're grabbing the outer blade of your foot, remember, kick through your hand. Standing leg is straight. The leg that's moving forward can have as much bend as you need. Stay with it. Another big breath in. Keep the lift of the leg. If either it's straight or bent, you pick. Arms up. Leg lifted if you want to work a little more. Arms up like you're holding a block over the top of your head. Lift a little higher. Lower your right foot to meet your left. Sit into chair. Sit deep into chair. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale that breath. Hook the elbow. Take it to the right. So if lower back is sensitive, and this is kind of like a standard thing, it's okay to separate your feet, guys, hips width distance. And you could do it like this, less of a twist. Yes, and just really work on the lower and the symmetry of the lower half of the body. If you're getting in there, keep sticking your butt back, get in there, hook the elbow, look up, maybe even open your arms. Weight is in your heels, shins move back, spine is long. Continue to breathe. Keep the weight in your heels, pull yourself wherever you are around to a chair. Dig down into that chair pose. Press up to stand, drag it to prayer, drop your arms. Woohoo. Okay, standing on the right leg, hug the left knee in. So remind yourself, little, it's just fine. You can go a little deeper if you want. Hand to the front of that knee, put knee shin area, right hand on hip. This is a good place to be. If balance is off, you can even go to a wall. Right arm up. If you want to reach down and see if you can get hold of the toe, do this without compromising your low back. Extend the left leg forward. As you kick that leg forward, draw the left shoulder back into the socket, soften the hips a little, activate your right leg. Reach up to the right side of your body, and then find that sweet spot on the wall that you can focus on. Press through the foot, grow a little taller. Keep the lift of the leg, whatever shape it is. The leg can be straight or bent. Switch the grip. Grab the outside of your thigh or the outside of your foot, and then reach your left arm back. Alignment is everything. So spine nice and long, grounded right leg, and then breathe. Maybe even look back a little. Stay with it. Keep the right leg straight. Keep the left leg in the air if you can. Turn your torso around, lift the leg, and sweep your arms up. Like you're holding a block over the top of the head. Lift a little higher. Lower the left foot down to meet the right. Here we go. Drive into your heels and sit chair pose. Hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the left. So the knee, the right knee in particular, likes to kind of move past the left. So it's good to look down and just make sure that's not happening. Drive the heels down, weight in your heels, and then that gives you that space to turn. The twist comes from above the belly button. Open up your arms if you want more, or just stay with this. 2 more. Sit a little deeper. See what you can find. Chair pose. Sit into that chair. Right now, press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Just stand for a second. Feel. Good work so far. So we're going to work a little from the top of the mat. If you do have blocks, you can have them here. If you don't, just do your best. Hands to hips to start. Standing right leg is going to be the power leg. With your hands on your hips, you're going to very slowly move the weight into your right leg, and like a pendulum, begin to float your left leg back. So as the left leg starts to move back, your eyes move a little forward. Now, as you get about halfway, start to open up into half moon. Your right hand comes down a little off center to the right. And from here, we go into half moon. Right foot has to stay forward. That's why we're doing it this way. Grip the hip in. You may find it feels a little funny, but that's a good thing. Slide the left arm up if you want to add more. Lift from the inner thigh. Soften a little behind your right knee, guys. You want to make sure we don't jam into the back side of that right knee. Nice, beautiful work. So just traditional half moon. If you feel you need to add in a Shavasana, any sort of balancing act, you go for it. Make your practice effective for you, so make it work. And if you fall out 5 times or 10 times, you get back in again. Keep hugging your right hip in strong. Transition will be slow. If you've got any binds or anything, just meet us in a regular half moon. Look down, keep your right foot forward, move your block with you if you think you're gonna need it. We're gonna step back to warrior 2. Warrior 2, and if your feet are all over the place, take a second to reset. Warrior 2, we have not been here yet today. Right leg is bending in half, the right foot is forward, inner thigh rolls open, back leg is strong, it's lining up with your front heel, and it's turned in a little, so the thigh bone rolls in. The hips are squared off towards the side of the mat, and the arms open nice and wide. I like my hands, my thumbs up, but some people prefer the more traditional way with the palms down. You can even play with the palms facing up. You pick. Drive your feet into the mat. Lengthen your tailbone down. And then settle into the feeling here and hold your body up in space for 5 more breaths. You can close your eyes. So you want to make sure that your torso is not turning forward. Your torso is stacked relatively in between your 2 hips, and it's facing the longer edge of your mat. Good, drive down more. Reach out with your right hand, slide it to the inside of your foot. I like a block here, so place it to the instep of the foot. Yeah, use the back of the tricep to press against the inside of the leg, and then slide your left arm up. Alternatively, you can rest your arm on your thigh. This is a nice option. Stack the 2 shoulders to start. Look up with your eyes. Grip your right hip in super strong, and then turn your bottom ribs. So your bottom ribs turn towards the sky, and you get this really nice opening through the chest and the collarbone. If you do want to add a half bind, the left arm will wrap around, and there'll be this little space in between your torso and your thigh that maybe you can grab onto. This isn't for everybody. I'm just giving you things to embellish on. Continuously lean back into your right thigh. Let the crown of the head come over the front right foot. For some reason you want to add the full bind, go for it. Bottom arm will reach under, you'll clasp the hand. We're not going for this, a collapsing of the torso. We're opening up our throat and chest, so there should be some space. A few more breaths. Just when it gets good, you want to run, I know. Unravel the arms if you added in the arm variation. Pull yourself up, warrior 2. Warrior 2, take the bounce out. Look forward with your eyes, circle your hands to frame your front foot. Let your left heel pop up, you're in a low lunge, like a runner's lunge. Yes, pause for a second, and then spring your left foot forward to meet your right. Long spine on the inhale breath, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold over yourself. Good, root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms and stand tall. So knowing that we're working right to a half moon, it's good to have the block at the top of the mat so you're set. Start with your hands on your hips. The weight is gonna move into your left leg. Contract the thigh bone strong and really focus on keeping your foot forward. Begin to tip forward just enough that your right leg starts to lift up. So the right leg lifts up and you're coming into this amended kind of warrior 3. Soften behind the left knee a little and then begin to turn your right thigh, your right hip and your right foot open. So you can work yourself into a half moon here. So there's no perfect pose, right? But there is, quality alignment. So that's what we're going for here. And there's no perfect way to get into these poses. It's an exploration. Be open-minded to try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Stack the 2 arms once you find that spot. And then always come back to your breath. The left hip to left armpit, there's plenty of space. The bottom ribs turn. Yeah. And then add in if you need to, Shavasana, balance. Right foot is lined up with your right hip. And if you fall, just come back again. Not a big deal. If you added anything in, just meet me back at a half moon. Focus strong on your left foot and hugging your left hip in. You can move the block with you if you want. Take a giant step back, warrior two. So warrior two. And if it got a little sloppy for you, take a second to reset. Yeah. Make sure your left heel and your right arch line up. Your arms nice and wide. Drive down. Yeah. Foot is forward. Inner thigh must roll open. So this is external rotation. We never want internal rotation. That would be where the knee rolls in. That would be bad news. Yeah. Torso nice and long. Side body nice and upright. Torso and arms open. And then settle in here. A few breaths. Maybe even close your eyes. Like you're attached to the pose, but you're not attached to it. Detach a little from it. It's just a feeling. Two more. Blink your eyes open. Look towards your left hand. Start to reach out and slide your hand to the instep of the foot. I like a block. You can set that up. Or arm to the top of the thigh. Use the back of the tricep to press against the inside of the leg. It's a good reminder. The right arm reaches up. Yeah. Add in the half bind, the full bind, the no bind, the thinking about the bind, whatever it is about the bind. Yeah. Turn the upper torso a little and then look up. Good. Grip your left hip underneath you. It has a tendency to want to poke out. And then turn those bottom ribs as you twist a little more. Press strong through your legs, your feet. Stay with it. Good. Unravel your right arm. Anchor strong through your legs. Pull yourself up. Warrior two. Warrior two with joy. Good. Look forward. Circle the hands to frame your front foot. Peel your right heel up. You're in this low lunge. Just kind of like tight to the floor. Low lunge. Yeah. Step to a plank. Do it slow. Bend your elbows in half chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog. Point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your down dog, step your right foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot strong. Grab the front of your right shin and come to triangle from here. Triangle pose. Your feet have to be lined up in the same line of energy. Yeah. And if it doesn't work for you this morning, you can always just come up, set up your feet, and tip into triangle from a standing position. Try holding on to the front of the leg somewhere. Up a little higher, obviously, is going to be less intense for the low back. Down a little lower is going to be a little bit more challenging for the core and the hamstring. So you pick. There is a little bit of a turning of the chest here, but you want to feel like you can slide the pant legging up and not all the weight's just dumping down. Anchor through your feet, through your legs, and really use the side body to hold you up. Press strong through your back leg. Stay with this. Couple more. See if you can pick up your toes, spread them across the mat, and really use the padded part of your foot to press down, and then put the toes down. Yeah, replace them down. Another big breath in. A little different today, guys. Look to the floor. The hands are going to come forward to the inside of your right foot. So it looks like this. And if you can't reach the floor, definitely place blocks underneath their hands so it's like this. You're on a little bit of an angle. My back foot is yet to turn. It's still in a triangle foot, triangle leg. So it's kind of like a humble triangle. So the inside of your body is coming to the inside of your right leg, and then just let your head go. And the front leg can have as much bend to it as you need, but really use the back leg. Press strong. Good. Those look good. Very nice. Stay with that. Good. Separate the hand now around the foot. Pick up the right foot and pivot it forward. Walk your right foot to the right. Slide your hands to your hips and pull yourself up. So essentially just turning your body forward now and coming up, and we'll set up for twisting triangle. I like to walk the right foot to the right a little. Right hand on hip, left arm extends up. The back leg is really solid. Come halfway down. Use your right hand to kind of remind yourself to pull your hip back, and then come the rest of the way down. If you're without a block this morning, place your hand on the front of your shin. And this is a great way to work because it's going to require the legs to work more into twisting triangle. If you have a block, place it down and then peel open the appropriate amount for you. Hips move back, spine is long and moving forward, and then you twist through the upper ribs as you look up. Good. So I like to steer with the legs and the feet. The hips continuously move back as you twist a little bit more. Look down, place both hands to frame your front foot. Just step to a down dog. Just step to a downward facing dog. If you're dying to move through a vinyasa, do it. If not, just hold your body up and be present. From your downward facing dog, land your left foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot strong. And from this position, pull yourself up into triangles, kind of like you're peeling yourself open. See how we did. Yeah, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then you reset. Nice, really nice. These look great. So if you know you're like more of the uber flexible, just remind yourself, and this is good even if you're not that flexible, that the front leg is going to have some bend to it. Yeah, you don't want it to be pinned straight. Continuously pull up on the shin wherever you're grabbing so you get this lift and this core work. And then I find it really helps in this pose if you focus a lot on the back leg. Focus on the back leg and then focus on your inner and outer thighs on both legs. Pick up your toes, see if you can spread them, and then replace them back down. One more big breath. Look down. Remind yourself, we're going into this a little different. Hands come down to the inside of your left foot. Kind of like humble warrior. Yeah. But don't turn your foot yet. Let your head go. You're kind of snuggling the side of your tricep to the inside of the left leg. It's a little bit of a different stretch. And you got to walk out the hands to an appropriate place that you feel a stretch. And if you need a block, you place them underneath your hands. Then let your head go. You should feel this in the outer hip. Look down, look forward, separate your hands around the front foot and literally just pick up your toes and turn it forward. Walk the left foot over to the left so it's about hips width distance. Hands to your hips, pull yourself up. So we're going to set up for twisting triangle right here. Stay with it, guys. You're doing great. Back leg strong, front foot over enough. Right arm extends up, hand to hip. Use your hand and pull it into your hip crease. Come halfway down. Encourage that hip to come back and then come the rest of the way down. A block is useful or hand to shin. And then you can slide your hand here to the flat part. Steer the legs and the hips back and the spine forward as you peel open. Yeah. Back leg strong. All the muscles around that back kneecap are lifted. Give it a little bit more juice. Good. Look down. Both hands come to the floor to frame the front foot. Step back, down dog or plank. You can move to a plank if you want. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Slide yourself to an up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, land your right foot forward. Come up to a crescent lunge. Stay with the flow. We're almost there. Crescent lunge. Good. Arms reach back like a set of airplane wings. The body is going to tip forward. If you need blocks, you're going to use them. They'll be at the top of the mat. Only one block, that's fine. Float up to warrior three, back leg strong. So warrior three, right hip grips in strong. Arms can reach back. Hands can come to prayer. The most challenging arms will reach forward like you're holding a block in between your hands. But the torso is long and the hips are squared off towards the floor. Bend your right leg a little. Lift from the inner thigh. Don't lift your leg any higher than hip height. Flex the foot. Stay with it. Giant step back crescent lunge. See if you can do it seamlessly. It's working on your proprioception this morning. Drag the hands to prayer at heart. It didn't work out, it's okay. Hook the elbow, take the twist. Grip your right hip in, activate the back leg. If you're opting for a little bit lower, more chill, back knee can drop. Good. There's a leaning back a little so the crown of the head lines up with the back heel. And then get in there if you want to open up your arms or do anything fancy with your arms. Give yourself that opportunity to explore. So I like to look up or look sideways in this pose. I find when I look back, I end up rounding my spine. Grip the hips in. Stay with it. We're going to move a little different right here. 2 more. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Slide your left knee behind your right foot. This is an oldie but goodie to float this way. Come to a seated spine twist. So my left leg is bent and my right foot's to the outside of the left knee. Right hand comes to the base of the spine. Hook the elbow or just grab the right leg and give it a little twist. Make sure that the 2 butt cheeks are down on the ground and the hand is close to the flat part of your back. So it's not reaching all the way back, it's close to you. Inhale the breath, lengthen. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. Come back to center. Counter stretch if that feels appropriate to you. Good. Hands are going to come forward. You're going to move your weight forward. Slide your right thigh in front of the left for Gomukhasana seat. The feet separate enough. And then you go ahead and you sit back. If your butt is really far from the ground, you're going to take a pillow or a block and sit on it. Good. Hook the big toes. Inhale the breath. Exhale, you're going to bend forward or just stay nice and upright. This is outer leg stretching, outer hips, kind of a hard area to normally target. There's equal distance from your heels to the sides of your hips, just to give you an idea. And breathe. I know for me, just being upright, this is enough. I'm getting plenty. But if you're more bendy, you want to fold forward, give it a go. Just a few more breaths. Hands come forward. It looks like this, guys. It's almost like you're going to rock into tabletop like this. Step back, down dog. From your downward facing dog, land your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Come on up. Don't think too much, crescent lunge. Have the blocks at the top of the mat if you know you need a mended warrior three. Arms reach back like a set of airplane wings. Lean forward, float up, warrior three. Last little bit of effort today. Turn the right thigh down, flex the foot. If you need blocks, you place your hands. If you're in a bathroom, you can have your hands on the counter. Your chest lifts a little higher than everything else. Bend a little into the standing leg. Grip your left hip in strong and flex your back foot. 2 more. See if you can keep it. Make the transition smooth. Giant step back, crescent lunge. If it wasn't so pretty, it's okay. Hands come to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, and twist. Grip the outer hip underneath you and get in there. Nice, Jody. Looks really good. Lean back a little bit, guys. Get the crown of the head to line up with the right heel. Grip the hips underneath you. Dig deep. Nice, Nancy. Stay with it. Couple more breaths. Look down. Take both hands to frame your front foot. Slide your right knee behind your left heel so you come to sit. Yeah. Seated spine twist. So your right knee is forward, your right leg is bent, your left foot comes to the outside. Hand behind your back. You want to just give this leg a squeeze, that's fine. Your left leg a squeeze, or you can hook your elbow and you can twist. Nice and upright though is what we're going for. Good, come back to center. You can go the opposite way if that feels good for you. And then one more thing to work our hips, and we're gonna do a back bend. Bring our weight forward like we're going to tabletop. Slide the left knee in front of the right like you're sitting under a table. Separate your feet as far as they're going to go, and then start to move your butt back. And then once you come down, if there's a huge space between you and the floor, then by all means, take something and sit on it, okay? And then even distance between the side of your thighs and your heels. And you can hook the big toes, you can just chill here, you can reach up, you can bend forward, but find something that you get the stretch. The outer part of your hips is what we're going for. 5 breaths here. Good work. To get out now, we don't need to do anything fancy. We're just gonna come up, we're gonna unravel our legs, kind of how we started. The feet come down, and then lower yourself down to the floor. We're gonna set up for 2 big back bends before we go to our rest, which is gonna feel phenomenal. So as you lay down on your backs, fingertips skim the backs of your heels, tailbone lifts, enough space that you can either clasp your hands and shimmy them underneath, or place a block there, the long direction underneath your low back. If you just want to go for it, full wheel, you don't need to do any of those things. You can just take the opportunity to go up into a full wheel. So I don't know how you feel, so you have to do how you feel. Legs can just go straight up with a block, like you're creating legs up the wall. Go for it, Jody. Steer the feet forward and lift up. I know. Try and move on the exhale breath. Yeah. Nice, perfect, Kristen. Now take your arms and clasp them around the block. Perfect. Exhale the breath, come down. You're gonna do one more. If your legs are up, Dara, it looks really good. If your legs are up, just stay with them up. If you wanna do one more to kind of seal the deal here, flip the palms, chin to chest, giant breath in, exhale your breath, and here we go, come up. Nice work. Really good. Good, if you're up in a full wheel, tuck your chin first and come down. If your legs are just up or you're in another amended version, bend them in half, take the feet flat to the floor. Once the feet come down, then you remove the block out. And then how we started the practice, feet the width of the mat, knees knock in, just like that. Close your eyes and just feel. Just feel your body. So after all this hard work, we come back to where we started. Good. Slide your legs out on an angle just like this and set up for Shavasana. Nothing else needs to be done. Just complete restorative rest. Make yourself comfortable. You can place blocks underneath your thighs. If you have pillows, you can prop yourself up. Close your eyes and let go. And if you're listening to the playlist, the last song, you can pop that on and just let yourself go. The best part, this is like the most advanced pose right here, is Shavasana. Gather a deep breath in for yourself. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale out through your mouth, like really press the air out. Reach the arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a pretty dynamic stretch through fingertips, through toes. And then wrap your arms around your legs as you squeeze in tight. And however you like to move at the end of your practice, you could rock up to seat, you could stay laying down. Just come up and feel your body, today's body, and be grateful for it, because every time you get to the mat, it's a gift. Right. And there's really no agenda with this stuff. We never know how we're going to feel, how we're going to move, how it's going to work. We just go with it. That's all we've been doing for the past year, is just going with it. So we're going to continue, because it's the best way to do. Hands to prayer, bow our heads together. And then we lift our heads, open our eyes. Namaste, as always. Go out there, have an awesome day, stay warm. I'll see y'all soon.